So I've been getting a lot of guys messaging me and asking about PPC, and I thought what better time than right now to do a video on it because I just had to relaunch one of my products. I had already launched this product back at the end of last year, I think around October, November 2023. Ended up running out of stock a few months back because of some issues with my suppliers. I was out of stock for almost 6 or 8 weeks, almost 2 months. So I just came back into stock at the beginning of August, and I had to run all of my PPC again to start re-ranking to the first page for so many keywords. And it's actually a lot harder to re-rank when you run out of stock compared to when you first launch your product, because when you first launch your product, you have what's called the honeymoon phase from Amazon. And it's essentially this algorithm that really boosts you to the front very easily, very effortlessly for a lot of keywords, because Amazon wants to see if customers like your product. But that's only when you're a new listing. But when you lose your ranking and you run out of stock and you got to re-rank again, it's much more difficult. So this time around, I had to spend a lot more on PPC. Obviously, my ads weren't as profitable. They still were profitable. So I'm going to go through all of that with you guys in this video. I'm going to show you exactly what kind of campaigns I'm running, what my strategy is. And if you're a beginner to Amazon, or if you just don't really know what you're doing with PPC yet, I would highly recommend watching this full video. I'm going to really break it down simply for you guys, because when I first started, I didn't know shit about PPC. And I've spent years learning about it, trying to figure out what works. And currently what I'm doing, in my opinion, is what I think works best. So let's get into it. First things first, we can see here on the main page. So I started doing PPC on August 1st here. It's just behind my face, and till August 31st. It started off slow. We were spending a lot of money. The ACOS was quite high here, but we started leveling out here towards the end. So I'm going to go through this quickly in case you guys don't know what ACOS is. So first of all, you guys can see I spent close to $8,000 or $8,500 in the month, which I know seems like a lot. I'm not saying you guys have to spend that much to get to the rank to the first page. In my case, I have the budget, and in most cases, if you have the budget, a bigger budget is obviously always better, because you can spend more, you can rank faster. And the way I looked at it, as long as my ads were profitable, I was totally fine with keep on spending the money. So I spent around $8,500, and in total, my sales were close to $27,000 for the month. A good chunk of my sales came from the PPC. I think total for my month of August was around 43,000 in sales. So about 60% of the sales came from PPC and about 40% from organic sales, which is fine. And that's usually how it's going to start. But as you start ranking higher, spending more money on PPC, you start to rank higher, then your organic sales will go up. So usually, like, even if you can have like a nice 50-50 blend, that's usually pretty good. Meaning 50% of your sales from sales and 50% of your sales from organic. An ideal scenario would be if 60% of your sales are coming from organic and 40% are coming from PPC. But the thing right now that I've noticed with Amazon is it's much more of a pay-to-play environment. So everyone's spending money on PPC, so you kind of have to keep up. So anyways, that's how much I spent, and that's what the sales were. The ACOS right here is very, very important. So this is really the only metric I'm ever looking at to see how well my ads are doing. Well, obviously I'm looking at the sales, how many sales is specific campaigns making, but then I'm looking at the ACOS as well. So pretty much ACOS stands for advertising cost of sale. And the way to think about it is, so if my ACOS is $32, let's just say, so essentially in order to make $100 in sales, I have to spend $32. That's the simplest way to break it down. And when you're doing your ACOS, like figuring out what you want your ACOS to be, you really need to know what your profit margin of your product is. So for example, my profit margin on this product is 47%. So I know if my ACOS is below 32%, or let's just say right at 32%, there's still 15% of margin in there for me on my PPC campaigns. So all my ads that I'm spending, as long as I can maintain a 32% ACOS, that means I'm still profitable 15%. And I'm still getting all those sales, which is actually boosting my listing up organically, so it's just a win-win situation altogether. Now, with your target ACOS, you don't have to go for 32%. I think that's a nice number right in the middle. That's kind of what I like to go for. If it's a little bit over or if it's a little bit less, I'm not too worried about it. I know some guys, they want to go for like 20% ACOS or 25% ACOS because they want their ads to be really profitable. In that case, you may not get as many sales because you're obviously going to have to lower your bid and you may not rank as fast. My strategy is I'm willing to spend money on the ads as long as they're bringing in sales, because I know that will increase my rank organically. I also know some other guys who will literally go break even on their ads. So for example, my ACOS, my profit margin is 47%. They will literally be willing to spend 47% right up to that, just to make as many sales as possible, because they know if they spend the money, then they'll rank higher organically, and they'll get more sales organically. I've said that probably 10 times already, guys, but I want you guys to understand that strategy, right? So spending money on ads is a good thing, not just to make profit, to get sales, because the more sales you make, the higher Amazon will push your listing to the top pages. And that's what you want, because that's when all the organic sales come in. So you really do need to be spending money on PPC. So that's pretty much ACOS for you. And we're going to be talking about that a lot more as we get into this video. So first off, let's start with the ads that I do right off the top. So there's three ads that I start with, three campaigns that I start with right off the get-go. And I'm going to tell you guys exactly what this is. And when you're launching a product, you want to definitely have these three campaigns. So the first one is a competitor campaign. And what you're going to do is you're going to take your top 5 to 10 competitors, so the main guys that you're competing with, but you do want to make sure that these guys are actually making the sales. You don't want to be going for competitors that are not making any money, because essentially when you run these ads, you're going to be showing up on their listing. So you want to be on a listing that has a lot of sales, because that means it has a lot of traffic. People will click yours. So that's the first one you want. And that's called an exact match ASIN. So every one of your competitors, I'm just really breaking this down simply for you guys, every single one of your competitors has something called an ASIN. If you don't know what an ASIN is, I'd recommend Googling it, but you can just copy and paste those ASINs for your top competitors, and you would create a campaign around that. So that's your first listing. That's your first campaign. The second campaigns you want is exact match keyword campaigns. And this is pretty much exactly what your product is. So for example, let's say I'm selling this pen. So my exact match keyword, if you guys don't know what a keyword is, that's what someone types into the Amazon search bar to find a product. So for example, if you're looking for a brown pen with gold lid, you would type brown pen with gold lid on Amazon. And if that's what you're selling, you want to be going after targeting that keyword in this exact match campaign. So you want to tell Amazon, if someone searches that, I want to show up as a sponsored product. Obviously, you only want to do that if that word actually has search volume, and you would use Helium 10 to find that out. So if it has search volume, then you want to target it. So you should have a list of 4 to 5 exact match campaigns, like keywords that you know are very, very specific to your product, that you want to start targeting. At the beginning, I don't target really broad ones. I'm going for more very specific low-hanging fruit ones. Like I wouldn't just target pen, because pen has too many people selling it. It's going to be too competitive. It's going to cost me too much money, and I don't have any reviews yet. I'm probably not going to be able to compete with these guys. But if I'm the only guy selling brown pen with gold lid, I definitely want to go after that, because it's gonna bring sales, because that's exactly what my product is. So I hope that makes sense. So you're going to have your competitor exact match ASINs, and then you're going to have exact match keywords. And you guys can copy my campaign names here too. So I've just whited out a bunch of stuff, but essentially I'll have competitors dash and the product name. And then here I'd have exact keyword dash and the keyword that I'm going after. So for example, brown pen. And then this one will be brown pen with gold lid. So that way it's easier for me to sort through my campaigns, and I know exactly which campaign is which. And then the last campaign that I run is right here, is a broad match campaign. So a broad match campaign, rather than going for the exact keyword, a broad match campaign would be, you could put broad match, go after the word pen. And then Amazon would do its thing and figure out, like try to push it out things that are roughly similar to pen. And the reason we do this, sometimes they can be very profitable. Like in this case, it's been very, very good for me. You guys can see I've spent $1,300, made $4,700, had 101 orders, which is really good. So it was very profitable. But the main reason I'm usually running these broad campaigns is because I'm not putting in the exact keyword or the exact search term. So I can actually use the broad match to get information on what words people are searching for, and then make exact match keyword campaigns for them. I'm going to come back to that in case if you guys didn't catch that. So let's just go to the next page quickly here, because there's one more campaign that you guys need to do. So that was the first week. So in the first week, I'll do competitors, exact match keywords, and one broad campaign on roughly the product that I'm selling, like whatever the most broad keyword is. Then the last campaign that I run, and this is always the second week of launching my product, is an automatic campaign. So an automatic campaign is pretty much just that. You're not actually putting any keywords or anything like that. You're just clicking automatic when you're setting up your campaign. And this way, Amazon's algorithm will do its thing based on what they think your product is, and they'll just show it to whoever they think would buy the product. And I only do this on the second week of launching the product, because in the first week, Amazon doesn't really know what your product is. It's brand new. That's why you run the exact match keywords, let Amazon figure out what your product is. Then in the second week, that's when you start running the automatic, because if you do it at the beginning, you end up wasting a lot of money, and sometimes it's not the best campaign. By the second week, Amazon has enough information and it shoots out to the right people. And as you guys can see here, my automatic campaigns are very not only profitable, but they get a lot of sales. So that's what I'm really looking at here, guys, is I'm looking at, are they profitable? But I'm also looking at the sales. So if I have a campaign, for example, that maybe it doesn't have the best ACOS, like for example, it's 40%. So it's still a little bit profitable, but it's not my target. But if it's still bringing a lot of sales, I want to keep that, right? Because those sales are what's ranking me, right? If I have a campaign that has a really high ACOS and it's not bringing a lot of sales, then I'll turn it off. So for example, you guys can see right here, this campaign, I had 18 clicks, only one order, 60% ACOS. So it wasn't really doing shit. And I was like, okay, there's no need for me to run this campaign because clearly it's not profitable. Another thing I also look at is clicks. So a question you might be having is, how do I know when to turn off my ads? Like, how much do you usually spend on an ad before you turn it off? I don't really look at the spend. I look at the clicks. So this is just the way I like to do things. If I get 15 clicks and I don't get a sale, I'll usually turn it off, because if 15 people have clicked it and no one's bought it, that usually means that maybe this keyword is not really that great. So as you guys can see here, we've got a bunch more exact match campaigns. My ACOS for a lot of these is very good, 34%, 24%, 41% is a little bit high, but still bringing some sales in. 85%, I turned that one off. This one looks like a new one. And then we've got an automatic campaign, which is doing really, really well. So going back to the thing that I just mentioned in the previous post, so we're going to dive a little bit deeper into this. So you've got your competitor campaigns that you're doing. Then you've got your exact match keyword campaigns that you're doing, which are very, very good, because that's exactly, you're targeting the exact keyword that people are looking for. The next thing we have is we have the broad and the automatic. And like I mentioned before, the automatic is also very good for this, because the automatic will just show it to a bunch of either on different products or different keywords. And you can actually click into this campaign and figure out, like, for example, these 71 sales, where did these 71 sales come from? What were people looking up to buy those products? And if we find a keyword that's really, really good, we can actually take it from the automatic campaign and then create our own exact match campaign from that. So I'm going to show you guys exactly how to do that. Also, guys, if you guys are getting a bunch of value in this video, please hit that like button and hit the subscribe, because I think this information is going to really help you guys out a lot. So I'd appreciate it. And then that'll also tell me I should make more of these kind of videos. So if you guys don't know what I just did, I essentially clicked into the broad match campaign. So to do that, you would just come over here, click that button right there, click broad on your campaign name, and then it would bring you to this page right here. So here you can see broad match campaign. I'm targeting 10 keywords in this. ACOS is 28%, et cetera, et cetera. So what you're going to do is you're going to come here and you're going to click this 10. Once you click that 10, it's going to bring you to this page right here. So you can see search terms right here, and you can also see the bid. So this is what I'm bidding for this keyword. So if you ever need to adjust your bid, that's essentially your cost per click. You can adjust it from here. But I'm going to show you guys how to see the search terms. So you click on the search terms, and voila, there you go. So here is exactly where we can see the words that people are looking for, the keywords, and we can see how many sales are they bringing in. So you click orders right here, and it would stack in order of how the highest orders. So we can see, for example, 7 sales came from this word right here. It's obviously blacked out. So now I know, okay, well, a lot of people are buying from that keyword. I should make an exact match campaign for that, so it's targeted exactly like that. Because you have to remember, this is a broad campaign or an automatic campaign. They're not always going to be targeting that word. So we want to take the words out of here and create our own exact match keywords. What I like to do is I look at anything over 3 orders. So if something's just got 1 sale, that's not really enough. 2's not enough. 3's like the minimum. Ideally, if I can see 4, 5, 6, anything more than that, that's when I'll create an exact match keyword campaign for it. So you can take them from here. You can also see the bids here. So I think I should have screenshotted further up, but you can also see the ACOS for the product, and you can also see the cost per click. So you can see how much, what you should actually bid for that keyword. So all that information is right here. So that's pretty much all I do, guys. I start with an exact match keyword campaigns, and then I also target my competitors. And then I also start with a broad match campaign. Then in the second week, I start an automatic campaign. I use the broad match campaign and the automatic campaigns to essentially gather research from me. And then whatever keywords are doing well within those ads, I'll use them and make more exact match keywords from them. And I'll just keep rinsing and repeating that. And that's how I'm able to scale my PPC and get my product to the first page. So hopefully you guys got a lot of value from that video. If you enjoyed this, if you got a lot of value, please hit that like and subscribe button. That way I know to make more of these type of videos. And if you guys have any questions, just drop them down in the comments below. Other than that, I'll see you guys in the next video.